Welcome. If you are new here, my name is Erica, and this is my weekly transit video. And this is a general reading where I blend astrology, human design, gene keys, and tarot to navigate the current energy. This is a general collective reading, so please make sure that you're taking what resonates and leave the rest. And also, I help guide my clients towards self-discovery and empowerment by helping them embody their highest selves, overcome obstacles, and show up authentically in life. So if that sounds like something you are needing and you would like a personalized reading, please click the link in the description box below. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. Today we have Chiron and Mercury conjunct each other in Aries. And for some reason, before I even get into that or what that means, I have this strong urge to talk about something. And I think I want to talk about, or I want to address a couple of things. So first of all, I want to state that spiritual psychosis is a real thing. And mental health is a real thing. And there are people who use these tools that I use to bypass their mental health issues or to spiritually bypass maybe the inner work that they need to be doing or the things that they need to be facing or the things that they need to be taking care of. A lot of people in the spiritual community use these tools to kind of validate their own delusions or their own limiting beliefs or their own perspective or outlook on the world or on life. Some people use this to fearmonger. Some people desperately need help that is not going to be offered through these tools. I just want to say this because I don't want to be a part of the problem. And I want to be very clear that if you kind of follow me, if you're part of my audience, if you follow me on Facebook or you watch these videos, that it's very important to feel these things within your own body and not get like, I actually think that this is why I wanted to say it, because there was a time in my life where I was stuck on this like mental rabbit hole in the spiritual world, you know, and when I say the spiritual world, that like encompasses everything. That encompasses astrology, human design, just like any kind of occult information or knowledge, tarot, your magic, you know, or your practice. Like there's energies within all of that that can be used for progress or hinder progress, and there is ways that you can kind of get stuck in this mental rabbit hole of all of this and not be addressing the body spirit mind connection, you know, maybe being a little over, like a little imbalanced in your mind. And so all of that to be said, to like, again, I don't want to be a part of the problem. I would rather be a part of the solution. And if you are having mental health issues and you're finding it hard to get out of these mental spirals and you're feeling, you know, very like you have any kind of despair or just overwhelmingly like negative thoughts, like I just really want to urge you or encourage you to seek help. And maybe that help isn't something you can only get through the spiritual community, you know, like I don't know. I think that that's why I'm such a huge fan of human design, because it helped me get out of my head and into my body. It helped me to find my own, you know, inner authority and not kind of give my power away to all of these other external tools and resources and gurus and spiritual masters and whatnot. So like, I just want to say all that. I don't know why. Okay, so back to the transit report. Chiron and Mercury are conjunct today. And Chiron is the asteroid of the wounded healer. This is the same planet that was conjunct the sun and the moon during the solar eclipse last Monday. And Mercury is in retrograde. Excuse me. Mercury is in retrograde, so it is moving backwards towards all of this energy in Aries that we experienced last week and we're going to continue to experience this week with Venus moving here as well. So we could be having a lot of insights, downloads. Maybe this is why I said what I said, because we could be having a lot of insights and downloads about our wounding, about our pain, about our trauma, especially with it being in gate 51, which is the gate of shock. I feel like this is where a lot of trauma can occur, especially trauma to our sense of identity. And our sense of identity is like a big deal, you know? It's not just as simple as like, this is who I am. Like, your identity is what keeps you separate from everything else, you know? Which again is why spiritual psychosis is such a thing, because that's another thing that I wanted to say is like, yes, spirituality is a very important component to life, but what good is any of it if you're not grounding it down into reality? So therefore you still have to live a very 3D human life. The whole goal is to kind of like build a bridge between the two. So if you're completely stuck in your upper chakra world and the spiritual world and you're not grounding that down into your material reality, then you're kind of like, again, bypassing your purpose here. And so with that being said, part of that is our identity or our separateness from everything else. That is part of this human experience, is to be born into a separate body with separate features, with a personality and personality qualities and an identity, you know? So like this wounding is like pretty deep and core level stuff, because it's like how you are different from everyone else. And that can either be a great thing, or like it can either be medicine to the world or medicine to yourself, or it can be poison to the world or poison to yourself, especially if you don't deal and face these woundings or see the reality that your woundings and traumas rewire your brain, rewire the way that you think. And maybe you can't be the one to untangle that mess, you know? Maybe that's why things like therapy and EMDR and all of that kind of stuff exists, is to help you like rewire these patterns in your brain. But it's not something that, I mean, I'm not going to say you can't do it all on your own, but I'm just saying like I don't suggest it. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about the more positive side of this, and also kind of just like the more positive side of this is that thinking that communication turned inward, being more reflective, reflecting on our pain, reflecting on our wounding, reflecting on our trauma, you might be able to make some good progress with those things that I talked about, those rewiring things that are necessary. Changing and shifting perspective on how you see yourself. Changing or shifting perspective on the energy that you put towards the way you're perceived by others, and how you also heal yourself through healing others' identity wounds by validating the higher selves of others, not validating the delusion, not validating the psychosis, but validating that everyone here on earth is worthy, is deserving of love, and that we can hold them in community. 51 on the higher side, the optimal expression here is the ability to consciously use cycles of disruption and unexpected twists and turns of fate as catalysts to deepen your connection to source and to your life and soul purpose. By the way, this is the Karen Curry Parker book, the Encyclopedia of Quantum Human Design, something that I use sometimes to kind of riff back and forth with. But yeah, this gate is about how unexpected, shaking, kind of like tarot tower card events, you know, the things that just kind of flip your world upside down, like how those things either hinder you from growth or aid in your growth. Like, can it shake you and wake you to the love of the universe, or does it cause you to kind of retreat into a hole even further? As we move on throughout the week, Wednesday, we're going to also see Venus conjunct the North Node. And at this point, we have Mercury, Chiron, Venus, North Node, all in gate 51. All of this is where that solar eclipse happens. So it's interesting, you know, because like I saw a lot of people in the human design or astrological community get really excited about the solar eclipse last week. And I saw some people kind of get bummed out that like big things didn't happen. But I do think big things are happening. And I think that maybe the material evidence for those things aren't being seen yet, but they could be this week, or when Mercury stations direct, you know, like this is kind of like a process throughout this month, especially with this Aries 51 gate energy. That sense of self, that shocking wounding happening to our sense of self that we're all kind of just like processing and healing and dealing with. It could also pertain to shocking events in the external world, you know? But see, that's the thing, is like when we talk about fear mongering and stuff, it's like, don't let that like scare you. Because honestly, this is all about like how do you deal with that energy? Like it's a challenge to deal with that energy in a more constructive way, which is to be initiated, to have a light up under your ass, to put yourself first, to wake other people up, to initiate other people, to make progress towards coming together with your higher self. So yeah, let's talk about the planets in this. So we have Mercury, which is our thinking and communication. We have Chiron, which is the wounded healer, the centaur, you know, that heals itself through healing others. We have Venus, which is our values and money, love, what we kind of like just put a lot of importance on. And then the North Node, which is collectively where we're all going towards, you know, the direction. So we're going towards a place that is more assertive, that is more maybe selfish, that is more about your identity, that is more about your motivation, your action or inaction. So I could see too, with Venus being at play here, it's like a good time to, you know, because Venus doesn't like to be here. Venus is like really seeing the value outside of itself. Like it's almost like a validation kind of thing. Like Venus likes to be validated. It's like, I think this is important. Do you think this is important? I think this is valuable. Do you think this is valuable? Or I only see myself as valuable if everyone else sees me as valuable. So that kind of thing can be at play this week as well. It's also a good time, like when you take what you value and you put Mars, the action oriented planet, behind it. It's like, are you taking action on what you really truly desire, truly value? What is worth all of the effort and energy that is put into healing yourself? Like, are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you taking action for the right reasons? We might also have we might also be better able to communicate more assertively in our relationships this week. Communicate our wants and our desires to others in a way that's not self-sacrificing, which again could be shocking, right? That could shock others. Maybe you've been a people pleaser for the last 5 years and now all of a sudden you're like, no more. You know, you're gonna kind of shake other people's sense of reality or sense of like assuredness on like how they see you or how they perceive you. People might be like, I thought I knew this person and now I don't, you know? Okay. Another huge giant transit of this coming week is the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction. So it's growing over the week. You know, it's intensifying and getting closer together. It's going to conjunct exactly on Saturday. This is going to be in gate 23, line 4. And it's also making a sextile to Mars in Pisces. And now remember, everything going on in Aries rules Mars. Mars being in Pisces kind of shows like, see, that's another thing about like things not popping off or like this weird awkward energy that it feels like a lot of people in are like, we have all this like drive and motivation to want to move forward, but with Mars and Pisces, it's like it really is like evaluating ending. So it's like maybe it's more about taking action on ending things right now than it is on starting things. Maybe it's like identity patterns, you know, like I would always show up this way, but it's the end of that. Now I'm going to show up this way. But first I have to really like get clear and like end this identity that I'm outgrowing, you know? Like maybe you have to fully grieve it. Maybe you have to do some forgiving. Maybe you have to connect in spiritually and work on your intuition and how well you feel spiritually guided towards the actions that you're taking, because that's a big part of Mars and Pisces as well, is like, are you taking action based on ego, or are you trusting in spirit to help you and guide you towards what to take action on? So anyway, Uranus and Jupiter conjunction is a good luck expansion when it comes to moving forward, bringing the future, materializing the kind of like dream or ideal you see for the future, which is perfect also for Pluto being in gate 41 now. Because gate 41 is like you're either stuck in fantasy and not actually materializing your dreams, or you're actually taking action on your dreams and materializing them, you know? So it can go both ways. So I could see how this is like good luck and expansion with actually taking action on your dreams, feeling like you are spiritually held and guided, that your intuition is in tune and connected, and also that maybe you get some like innovative ideas, or you're seeing some like solutions that you didn't see before, or you're getting a different perspective on things. You're kind of expanding your awareness. Maybe there's something around you that you didn't see before, now you do. And with this being in gate 23 or gene key 23, this is a lot about like, it's about complexity, but how you kind of simplify within complexity. Like how, again, like how do you deal with shock? How do you deal with complexity? And really, all of this is like, how do you not cave under those energies? How do you not cave to shock? How do you not cave to complexity? Well, in my opinion, one of the ways to not cave to complexity is to simplify. Let's go to gate 23 in here as well. The optimal expression is the ability to translate transformative insights with people that offers them a way to transform the way they think, to share what you know with awareness of right timing, and to trust your knowingness as an expression of your connection to source. And I also want to say, like, I'm pretty sure that this gate is a projected gate. Yeah. So you might have a lot of great ideas and insights over this next coming week, but also, with that projected Kate, it's all about right timing. So it might be the right time this week to share your insights and ideas, and it might not be, and only you're going to know that. And I think that that's where that spiritual connection is also so important. Especially with Mercury retrograde, when this gate is in the throat center, I'm like, and it's so funny, I'm like literally choking as I'm talking about it. But with this gate being in the throat center and with Mercury being retrograde, like if your natal Mercury is not retrograde and you feel these retrogrades, like you're having a hard time speaking and you're stumbling on your words and you're confused, you really have to wait for that fog to clear before you can communicate your ideas. Like maybe your idea isn't fully formed yet. And so if you just get excited and spew it on people, like they're gonna like just be taken aback by that. It's not gonna land the way that you want it to. So yeah, just something to think about. I also want to talk about line 4 with this one. Because line 4 is the opportunist. So we can also kind of play into uh these great ideas when it comes to the network of people. So the optimal expression with the fourth line is the ability to skillfully accomplish the cadence and rhythm of change, to learn what must be done to facilitate change and to be in the flow of change, to use this knowledge to help guide others in creating easy and graceful change, to bring stability to the community with your wisdom, to know how to access contingency plans and implement them to maintain stability, even when the circumstances are dramatically different. I like that, with especially like when I'm talking about like how do you kind of like deal with these opposing energies and not be like knocked off course, right? Like, so it's also like how can you kind of like get innovative with your network or with your community and plan or orchestrate or facilitate these ideas with others, you know if it's the right time. No no great no great success or successful people in all of human history did it all by themselves. No one. And that could be a part of these identity wounds that are also being dealt with this coming week, is like maybe you have these core beliefs that you do have to do these things alone. Maybe you've been sitting on ideas because you're trying to figure out how to make it all happen all by yourself. So yeah, that's also just something to think about. Also, towards the end of the week, the sun is going to move into Taurus. We're going to officially be in Taurus season. And I like how it's like this Aries moves into Taurus kind of energy because it's like, what motivates you? Who are you? Like, what kind of things do you need to heal about your identity in order to materialize your most authentic dreams, your most authentic desires? And so, as we move into Taurus season, but Venus, right, the ruler of Taurus is still in Aries. So it's like we're playing into both of these energies, but we can really kind of get into like how we are materializing the things that we truly want. And as the sun moves into Taurus, it's going to square Pluto in Aquarius in that gate 41 of fantasy. So that's, that's interesting. It's two fixed energies. So I could see it being a time of like, what are you being stubborn about? Like maybe it's time to start something new, but you're still stuck on maintaining something that you need to release control over, that you need to let go of. Like Pluto is a death and beginning, it's the transformation planet. So I could also see this being like Taurus ruling, kind of like material things, and Aquarius being the collective. It can also be like this play of like, how do you materialize and manifest things with the current landscape of the collective? How can you help the collective to get out of that shadow or that realm of just sitting there and fantasizing about things and actually take action to materialize those things? And again, like community, I think is so important this coming week. Especially like Pluto and Aquarius is also that transformative power of community, of getting people behind an idea, of implementing things as a group. Okay, and then Sunday, Venus is going to conjunct Chiron. And I really see this being a time of like self-worth, the value of self. After all, 51 is in the ego center. So it is this wounding also of how worthy we feel, how valuable we feel. Again, kind of like what I said at the beginning, like, do you only see yourself as valuable if other people validate you? Like, it's kind of like that whole thing about how we all think that everyone's thinking about us a lot more than they really are. Like, at the end of the day, it's you and you? Like, yes, everything I said about community is great, is perfect, is fine. But like if you find yourself in communities where they don't like you, like it doesn't say anything about you or your value as a person. It just means that you're in the wrong community. And at the end of the day, if people don't like you, like that's okay. Like you have to go to sleep with yourself. Right? So like you have to like yourself. Like you liking yourself is far more important than your opinion of yourself. Your competition with yourself is far more important than anyone else's opinion on you or anyone else's competition with you. So I think that that's also going to come up on like this week and especially over the weekend and on Sunday. And then finally, let's get into the moon transit. So The moon starts out today in Cancer, which is a cardinal sign. So again, that kind of like urge to like start things. And then it's going to move through Leo. And when it gets to Leo, it's going to oppose Pluto, you know, so we could see some transformative emotions occurring around that time. And again, kind of like to this identity, like Leo's also identity, but it's like that pride in that identity. It's also like how you stand out from other people. And then it's going to move into Virgo and oppose everything in Pisces. And so that could be a great time to kind of like clean house and plan, strategize, see some details that you might not have seen. Look at the mind body connection. How well are you embodying these spiritual things? And then finally, it's going to end in Libra on Sunday. And I think it's by Monday, it's going to conjunct the South Node as well. So, which again is a cardinal sign. So, like, I want to say this is like also kind of like at the end of the week is like maybe starting some kind of like relationship oriented things that comes from a place of you putting yourself first. Maybe choosing relationships that are more correct for you and letting go of relationships that are not. And on the human design side of things, this is moving from the quarter of civilization and form, again, materializing into duality and relationship. Again, how well you can collaborate and work with other people. So yeah, okay, that's all I'm going to say. Let's go ahead and get into the tarot portion. There's a couple things that, so like first I pulled this Merry Masquerade card. And then secondly, I pulled this Ivory Swan Goddess. I see this as like people distracting themselves from their true selves or who they truly are. You know, it's kind of like a mask that you wear to the world. And this one's interesting as well because I see this as like, I don't know, the main thing that popped out was this like light that's shining and how she's kind of like covering her face. Kind of like not wanting to face the light. And see, maybe that's the thing too. Like if you're somebody who shines brightly, who has a very high vibe energy and shines truth out there into the world, there are going to be people that don't like that. Maybe that's why again I felt that strong urge to talk about like spiritual psychosis and stuff like that because like a lot of people will use spirituality to escape the light. A paradox, I know, but still very true. So just I think I want to keep that in mind, kind of also like hold on to your purity or your innocence or your connection or your divine qualities in the face of like other people's opinions and other people's projections onto you. And to hold true to yourself, whether or not people like that. So yeah. Merry Masquerade, message, glamour, intrigue, drama. About Mary Masquerade. Mary is very much like the famed Queen of France, Marie Antoinette. She is stylish and delightful, always finding new and fascinatingly creative ways to amuse herself. Wherever she is, there is decadence and style, truly glamorous moments and lavish entertainments. But even she knows she is simply amusing herself, and that there is a hole at the center of her being, where she wishes she were loved for who she truly is, and could rely only on her talent and style to express herself and not be judged for this. To be her friend is no problem at all as long as you remain truly yourself. Only being with her has somehow made you wish to be more like her. Look beneath the mask and the beauty and the exquisite stylings and see into her heart. Be her friend and be her companion, but never forget who you are and what is important to you. Mary Masquerade speaks. Someone is about to invite you to be involved in something very intriguing, and this person will ask you in ways that are ever so charming, so the temptation will be ever so strong. Because this person is beautiful and talented and powerful, you are flattered, but the truth is you run the risk of paying a very high price for this brush with fame or glory. Be sure that the politics and the intrigues are ones you truly wish for in your life, because there is often a sacrifice that must be made, and many consequences are currently hidden from you. It is tempting, no doubt, but it may not be within your best interest to pursue this strange, slightly tainted offer that will be made. Divination message. There is gossip and intrigue around a person you admire and wish to be like in some way. This person has need of a true friend and not the need of an admirer. This card can come up when you experience jealousy and envy of those you feel are undeservingly more successful and beloved than you are. The message is to focus on your own hard work and to create your own style. If you are the subject of such gossip, know you cannot control what is said about you. Live your life and move through this with grace. When Mary Masquerade comes up, there are some people around who want to befriend another, but simply for the influence. It is not coming from the heart. And despite her beauty and success, anyone in Mary's position needs true friends. Look inside and see if you have attempted to network instead of befriend. Ooh, I like that for that line 4. If you have attempted to network instead of befriend. I feel like that comes from a place of like building relationships because you think that that person is going to add like you think they're going to give you something that you need rather than you just are curious about them and want to know more about them and want to connect with them, or you see the value of having them in your life, not in just like a purely materialistic way. Know the difference. Yeah, know the difference between befriending someone and just networking, like trying to just like use someone as a ladder to gain success. Do not keep false friends, fair weather friends. Be true to your own vision as opposed to what is currently fashionable and considered desirable. Creating rather than following. Perfect for everything that I've talked about so far. How do you stay true to yourself? Yeah, and also I really like the part where it's like all the people that you're envious of or that that you're jealous of, that you kind of see what they have and you're like, I wish I had that. That is, first of all, like every time you put someone on a pedestal, you're knocking yourself down a few notches. Right? You're saying that you're less valuable or that you don't deserve that. Like anything that you see that someone else has, just showing you that you're also capable of having that too, and also showing you that that person that you're kind of just giving that envious jealous energy to might be someone that you could actually befriend and learn from and build a lifelong connection with, but not if you just see them as an opportunity. Perfect. Okay, and then this ivory swan goddess. The ivory swan goddess speaks of spiritual grace and purity. The purity of your soul light never fades, beloved. Release guilt, shame, judgment, or fear that you are not enough in any way so that you may realize your beauty, be more of yourself, and shine your divine essence into the world. Do not cast your eyes away from the perception of your own divine inner light in all of its purity and radiance, beloved soul. You may find it easier to believe in the illusion of sins and unworthiness than in the truth of your spiritual innocence. Yet, just like the purity, beauty, and grace of the ivory swan goddess, your soul is luminous, pure, and eternally graceful. You are being asked to recognize the divine energy within you without holding yourself back from unconditional love. Oh, unconditional self acceptance and regard. It is time to accept your divinity in greater measure, to be present to the pure light within and not try to ignore it, downplay it, or worry that it is not enough. No matter what has happened in your life or what experiences or choices you have made, your soul light is as pure as the divine source itself, because essentially that is what it is. There is no need for spiritual shame or feelings of inadequacy. The light within all of us is exactly the same. We are just different stages of realizing it. I love that. The light within all of us is exactly the same. We're all just in different stages of realizing it. Kuan Yin, ivory swan goddess, wishes to bestow divine grace upon you, beloved soul, to assist your spiritual growth at this important time on your path. For this to occur, you must be willing to be able to receive it. As you choose to let shame simply be a feeling and let it go, as you choose not to empower judgment, condemnation, or criticism of the self by you or by any other, you are walking the path of remembering the essential soul purity of all beings. This is a peaceful and joyful path. You become capable of seeing the God and goddess shining out at you in the most unlikely of people, situations, and experiences. Ooh, I love that too, especially when we talk about that shock or how we're dealing with these external things that are happening to us, is to see God shining out of it. Like it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And also this identification too, it's like at the most fundamental basic level, you are spiritual light. Yes, you're bringing that into a human form and you're constructing an identity, but don't hold on so tightly to that, you know, because your identity can shift and change into whatever it needs to be to let that light shine. So if you're holding on to an old identity, then that light is being repressed because it's time for you to grow into a new identity. And maybe in order to grow into that new identity, you have to stop identifying with things that no longer serve you or fit you, things that you've outgrown. You are opening to receive the grace that beloved Kuan Yin wishes to share with you now to help you live more joyfully in such a state of spiritual remembrance. Allow her to bless you with her grace as you remember the spiritual purity of your own being, free from taint, judgment, or flaw. So that's a really good piece of advice this coming week too, is to deal with feelings of shame, to practice self-care, practice self-love, practice self-acceptance. When these pains and these traumas and these triggers come up, you can, like, you're never going to get rid of them if you always start to shame yourself over having them. That's like been one of my biggest lessons in life, is like truly all of the progress and changes that I've actually made in my life have come from me loving myself more, not shaming like anything I've shamed myself over, I don't fucking change. Because it's not motivating, you know. In order to actually change something, you have to have that motivation and that like momentum, you know, get out of that inertia. And in order to do that, you have to feel these motivating emotions, and you're never going to feel those motivating emotions if you're constantly putting yourself down and talking shit to yourself, or allowing other people to put you down and talk shit to you. So this is a big deal this week. Okay. That's all I've got for you. Just a couple of quick announcements. Please check out the links below to get to also my Facebook page. I talk about transits and just like I talk just so much on that page. So if that's of interest to you, please go check out my Facebook page. Also, this coming Wednesday, I am going to be on the panel for a human design networking workshop event. It's through the group Manifest Omaha on Facebook if you would like to go find that. But also if you do click on those links and you find my Facebook page, I have shared a few posts about that, so you might be able to find it that way. But yeah, that's this coming Wednesday, so please check that out. Also, the new moon in Taurus will be at Wild Root Yoga, and the links also for that are on my Facebook page. It's a Facebook event. Please go like Wild Root Yoga, by the way, they're awesome. Also Awaken the Witch, you know, we're continuing planning for that, so also please go check that out if you're interested in attending this year. It's going to be amazing. We have an amazing team on that, and I'm so excited. I'm just so excited to see where it goes. So find the Awaken the Witch event page and Facebook page and check all of that out as well. And if you found this to be valuable, please consider helping me grow or reach more people by liking, sharing, subscribing, all of those things. And also just leave me feedback. You know, what did you like? What did you not like? Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to see me add into this or do that can make this even more valuable or practical to actually use in your life. And also I do this on Mondays because it's moon day, right? So it's like my day to kind of like prepare for the week ahead. And so I hope that that's how you guys utilize this as well. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it, and have a great week ahead.